What's up, geeks and gamers? My name is Draymond, and welcome to Thorium Gaming. We're back with episode 14 of Light of the Azure, and our first one in 2018. And again, Happy New Year to all you guys and gals out there. Happy gaming for the whole new year. So last time we did end up engaging a bunch of dark elves, including the Witch King himself over here on the west. And now our forces are kinda either going to Nagarond or coming back to recoup. We still have to build up some forces around Lothern itself and get ready for the next ritual. But we also have forces headed over to Nagaron to slow the Dark Elves down as much as we can. So that's going to be a lot of fun, but it might be a little bit of maintenance. But while we're doing that, they have announced the Rise of the Tomb Kings pack for this, which means we are getting the vaunted forces of Khemri coming up to engage us. And of course, on the map, I don't know if we can actually go that far south, but we'll try. So east of here, east of the Tower of the Sun, over in the desert area, might be slightly more north, but southeast of Ulthuan and what is essentially Africa is the land of the Tomb Kings, and they're Egyptian themed. They're awesome. Get ready to fight a lot of chariots, along with Ushabti, which are big monolithic statues that have come to life in the representation of the various gods of Khemri. They hit hard. They're monstrous sized, and they are just mean. In the board game, they are units of like 3 to 6 and have like 4 hit points each. They are very, very tough to deal with. But while we're going to be discussing that and gushing over it a little bit, because it's always great when another tabletop race makes it into this, let's start going and advancing our forces a little bit. We are really hurting for cash, so we're going to try and get the Glittering Lighthouse, or the Glittering Tower I should say. I always mess those two up. Back up into place, and we will upgrade Toranrock. Essentially, we're just rebuilding a bunch of stuff that we lost over the last few turns. Chaos hit us a little hard. Just a wee bit. So when those are all done building, it'll help out our treasury a fair bit. Let's end that first turn and see what happens. Because I know the Druchii are getting close to their second ritual, and we are, of course, sending Chaplin Grimuldis over to attack Nagarond itself. If we can get there before the Witch King revives, then we might be able to actually take the city and hold it. That would throw a big damper into their plans to advance their own ritual. Then we just gotta stay ahead of the Lizardmen. Easier said than done, of course. And Toranrock? Or Tiranoc. Toranrock was their capital, but they apparently lost everything and went over to the Bleak Coast. They want a non-aggression pack for 100 gold. Yeah, we'll accept that. Of course, Yvres is still messing around with the Pirates of Sartosa. That was a pretty valiant victory, even though they lost a hero, I believe, doing that. Which kind of hurts, but not too big of a deal overall. Next turn, we will see if we can confederate with another elven nation. Might be Yvres, but we're going to probably go for Avalorn again. Having the inner ring all ours and shiny and new would be awesome. And of course, the Pirates of Sartosa are still traveling up and down the coast and being weird pirates. I don't know if they even have a plan. The forces of chaos are withdrawing from messing with the Druchii, which is actually a bad thing. Alright, so we have our choice. We can't afford any loss to our income, so we're going to have to pick one of these three. We don't need the public order, so it comes down to whether we want a Shrasian scout or an Illyrian horsemaster. Ambush defense and spotting nearby armies. There we go. Or speed for Reavers, Silverhelms, and Dragon Princes. You know what? We're going to be getting Dragon Princes here pretty quick, so let's dance with Illyrian. Have that guy sitting around for when we need him. And Senina, you're going to try and steal some technology again. And you succeeded, so we're going to get you your next level. That's going to be Arcane Conduit, I think, this time. I'd love to finish off Fiery Convocation, but power recharge rate and power reserves, definitely a necessary thing. We're just going to bump out and grab that mysterious island. And then we will head over to this one, and then we will go in and try to take Negorund itself. And with luck, no army will spawn in it by the time we get there. Back into our diplomacy menu. See if we can confederate with Avalorn. It seems they've rejected it this turn. How much influence do we have? We have 33. So what we're going to do is use the intrigue at court to try and bump them up just a tiny bit. The next turn or the turn after, we should be able to get it. And Phoenix, of course, is going to grab that Skull Reef. And then continue heading down to Lothern itself. Our forces out on the ocean. Most of our elves are actually shipbound right now. Sunshine, you're going to go grab this mysterious island. Shiny boots and fresh recruits. And the terrifying Mask of E. I could do a higher pitched squeal probably, but nobody wants to hear that, including me. My voice is annoying enough as is. No need to add to it. Let's get our troops back in and see what we can do to set up Agnew and myself doing our thing. And Agnew, you can actually go back to no stance for a little bit. We don't know where those Chaos armies are going to spawn. You're basically holding our left flank. There's also one other thing I was going to do, but it seems to be evading my brain at the moment. Which, let's face it, is not an unusual circumstance. We're making 500 gold per turn right now. So we might as well upgrade the High Veil. Now, an Elven Embassy would give us more trade income, but I don't think we have that many trade deals set up. But the income from ports would be good. But it's only for this province, and, well, Tor Anrock does have one. So, let's just drop that in there, because we're upgrading Tor Anrock as we go. Tor Draenil is going to get upgraded, because they're losing public order there. It's not necessarily a healthy thing. Don't really want to upgrade too much all at once. Otherwise we're going to drain our treasury, and we're going to need that to reinforce our armies when we get down to it. So that'll be pretty good for this turn. Now when the Tomb Kings come out, they're going to have probably your Tomb Princes and Tomb Kings as their lords. And then you'll have your, can't remember, they're kind of like a lich, but they're not a lich. But they were the religious leaders, the cult leaders, and I'm almost tempted to grab my book, figure out what it is, because I ended up buying a lot of the army books just for the backstory and all that sort of stuff. Because I really love this IP. I love the world in general, which is why Age of Sigmar hurt me so much. But I think they're like Lich Priests or something along those lines. And just like the vampire counts, they are reliant on their leaders being undead, alive. That's probably not the right way to put it, but that's close enough. So if their leaders get stomped, then their armies will start to crumble. Which, if you're going up against Druchii and the giant sphinx-looking things whose names I can't remember right now, they won't be such an issue. But you're going to be facing a lot of skeletons, and more importantly, skeleton archers. The Tomb Kings are big on their chariots and their archers, and they get poison arrows, so it's going to be really, really tough. It's going to be like fighting a mix between the Wood Elves, the Dark Elves, and the High Elves. So think of all the elves put together, and that's pretty much what the Tomb King is. They have weak-ish infantry. Fearless, weakish infantry, of course. Their chariots are fast outriders that will pepper you with arrows and spears and javelins, and are just annoying. And then they have the big heavy hitters, like tomb scarabs and undead scorpions and the Ushabti. They're just mean. So if we raise or sack, I should say, a settlement belonging to the Dark Elves, in under 10 turns we'll get 30 way fragments. Well, lucky for us, we are already planning on doing that. Chaplin Grimuldis is going to go and assault Negorond. So we'll get some favorable wins, doesn't hurt us. Now if we drop you out of March stance, Chaplin, I don't think you'd be able to engage Negorond this turn. There, actually you are. So we're going to build one ram, a couple of siege towers, and we will continue the siege. Hopefully we will be able to do it before we run out of time. They are going to run out of supplies in 8 turns, so we're going to wait a little bit and try to stall. Just so we can get that. Now, Sanina, you were tempted to be wounded, but you only have a 30% chance of actually wounding her back. So instead, let's send you toward Hotek's column. Do a little bit of scouting around here for us.
The winds are rising.
Get you a steel technology from there. We've been delaying upgrading the Shrine of Azuram, but we have the money right now, and it wouldn't hurt. And as these upgrades all finish off, we are going to start seeing a large increase in our income. And we kind of need it right now. So we'll keep up on that a little bit. Now, Sunshine, we don't really want to send you over to the Druchii lands just yet. I would love to capture Vol's Anvil. It is an incredibly tough call. I could divert my army, because I have a dragon, to go take Vol's Anvil, which is a major waystone fragment producing place. I think we're going to do that. And then Sunshine, we're going to get you to continue looking for more of the mysterious islands and all of the sea junk that gives us a lot of money. Like, there's one right there. You can sail over there, try and get it. I'm not too worried about Skaven right now, because they are a ritual behind, but the Dark Elves are going to be starting their next ritual here pretty quick. And hopefully we will be able to disrupt that. Well, let's go on to the next turn and see what ends up happening. I should have tried to confederate with Avalorn. And yeah, Malekith, you came over and attacked us. We're not getting a peace treaty with you. No way. But this looks like a decent enough battle, so we're going to go in and fight it ourselves. And of course, if we win, I believe we take Negorond. But they have a black dragon. We have a ton of archers and a couple of heroes. It's still balanced in our favor. We don't have too many heavy hitters, aside from, of course, Chaplin Grimuldis riding a dragon and PC on his Great Eagle. That really helps. I don't want to get caught up too much in fighting that dragon, because they do have a black dragon, and black dragons are tough. So let's just spread our archers, and we'll use the lesser ones as kind of our left flank archers. They can die if we need them to. And we'll space our heroes in amongst here. You two are probably going to go right after that dragon. So let's just pause really quick Let's see what we're actually up against. Some Cold One Cavalry, the Black Dragon, of course. That's what I was worried about. Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower. So, Chaplin, what we're going to get you to do is go over and breathe on that Bolt Thrower. PC, go straight after the Black Dragon. Weakish archers, going to have you hit those Blackguard. Armored archers, hit them. And we're going to try and keep our spearmen in front of you guys as much as possible. Our troops are already taking some damage from those eagle claws. I'm almost a little bit disappointed. These Blackguards should be hitting us a heck of a lot harder than they are. We're actually holding up fairly well. I mean, the Black Dragon is almost gone, and that's the big worry for me. Chaplin, you can keep on fighting that, and we're going to send PC off to deal with the Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers that are causing so many problems for us. I think a lot of this fight is going to come down to our heroes.
Asur! For order! Asur Prince! Noble! At your command! Noble, as you say.
Eagle Claw is all but spent. Our archers are getting chased back, which doesn't really help us that much.
Battle ready.
We can get the Chaplain back up into the air. Ooh, we might actually lose this fight, and that would be disappointing.
Awaiting orders. Pull back. Battle calls. Slay them. Understood. Advance.
Alright, Chaplain, get out of there while you're still able to.
Noble.
And PC, go back and start slaughtering some Dark Shards.
Spearmen. Draw back. Archers. For duty.
Kind of got a buggered battle line going on here. Not a good thing.
I will. Noble.
Oops. Right-clicked instead of double-clicked.
Pull
It's
back.
a pretty silly idea.
Rapid advance. Finish them. Without question.
Let the morale of our troops kind of come back a little bit.
Kill them. Quickly now. Loyal. Draw back. Following orders.
Chaplain, it's time for you to pull out.
Moving
And
out.
PC, we're going to get you back up in the air too. Maybe have you go over and deal with those Black Ark Corsairs that are harassing our archers.
What orders? Advance! Spearman! Asurian willing! It will be done.
This battle is not going exactly how I thought it would.
To the fray! Asur, withdraw!
Oh, those are shades, not Corsairs. Actually, the Druchii are fairly winning this one.
Spearman!
You still got a couple of almost full health units of Blackguard of Nagarond.
It will be done. Good duty.
But if we can come around and start shooting a little bit more effectively, we might pull it out. Kind of rusty.
Asurian wills it. Noble! Spearmen!
That's what I get for letting my archers get collapsed so easily, so early. But all is not lost yet. We still have a couple of really effective heroes.
Orders understood. Noble, son of Ulfwood.
Might still be able to pull it out.
Archers, for duty.
But we are entirely down to archers now.
For the king. Proud to serve. Noble prince. On foot.
It was really those eagle claws that did, well, theirs are not eagles, theirs are reapers. But it was their bolt throwers that did most of the damage to us.
Ever vigilant. Let others die. For Ulfwan! Pull back! To battle! Assyrian willing!
But it's not entirely lost yet, even though these archers are in pretty dire straits.
To battle! As you say. Defending order.
It's nice when everything goes your way, but sometimes things just go against you. I shouldn't have charged down to meet them is what happened. Should have waited way back at the start of my deployment zone and let them come to me.
Archers! For Ulfwan! It will be done! It is done! Brave and true! Without question! Ever vigilant! Move! For the
But I believe that they only have the one sorceress? We're still not going to win this fight, but we might be able to save a few troops.
Understood! Sinner! As you say! As you say!
We've routed a good majority of their troops over here. Is that Reaper Bolt Thrower being re-equipped? No. It's just these soldiers. think the bolt throwers themselves are gone. Ah, they do have one more leader. So if our leaders can take her out, if we can completely break this sorceress, which doesn't look like it's going to happen. It's gotta suck to be in her shoes right now. Boots. High heels. Whatever it is Dark Elf sorceresses wear. A great eagle and a dragon.
Ready and eager.
Things are kind of looking bleak right now, though.
Asurian wills it. Onward. The king has spoken and we obey. Orders understood.
So PC, let's see if you can go over and take this Death Hag on. She's kind of out of control right now. Just slowly walking back towards us. Do love the models for them, though. Both here and on the tabletop. Death Hags are incredibly gorgeous. It's a mix of unrestrained fury and grace, so to speak. Yeah, if PC can hold on for a little bit, we might be able to break this leader, but it looks like the other Druchii are coming back. You know what? We're actually not going to risk what little forces we have left, and we're going to withdraw. I would rather not lose a hero and a lord. We can just withdraw from the city. They don't have an army stack there. We can go into an encamp stance and recover what little we have left from this. Which, to be honest, isn't much. That was an incredible loss of an army stack. So, oops. But, you know, everything can't go your way all the time. We did kill a fair number of them, including their sorceress.
Back.
But that does not help us take Nagarond. And his war banner was stolen by the Druchii. Is that a normal lord, or... Yeah, it's Cult of Pleasure, so it has to be a normal lord. It can't be Marathi. She only gets her Dark Pegasus. And Chaplin Grimuldis gained Bloody, plus 5% hit points, and plus 1 leadership when fighting against the undead. It's not bad. A little demoralizing to start off our first episode of the year. I had an editing mistake yesterday, and then a lost battle to start this one. It's not coming up Millhouse for me this time. But speaking of things that are coming up, Friday, tomorrow as of time of listening to this, I'm going to be trying to do some Twitch live stream for some XCOM War of the Chosen playthrough. That sounded a lot better in my head than it came out. But still. Some XCOM 2 War of the Chosen. A lot of the subs are already created. A lot of you guys. So you're going to go out in squads, pairs, all that sort of stuff. And I'm going to try and stream that pretty much every Friday. Don't know the precise time yet, but I'm going to try and figure it out during the day tomorrow for me. At this point, we really, really need Avalorn to go, okay, we want to be part of your army. Not only could I use the army stack, but having those structures, because we cannot fully prevent Nagaron from completing the ritual now. And they're ahead of us, so we've got to slow them down. We might even have to slow down the Lizardmen too, which would not be fun. Of course, the Norse and Scalings are still being Norse and Scalings, doing weird stuff over in Albion. You know what, we're going to have to sacrifice the influence this time. Actually, we're starting to make a lot of money now, because we lost an army stack, so we can afford that for a turn. So Chaplin Grimuldis managed to save a third of his forces? We're going to toss you into a camp stance. What are some cheap, quick, and easy forces for us to get you? Well, a couple of units of Lothern Sea Guard doesn't hurt. We kind of need to have a monster. Great Eagles only take a turn, so we'll get you a pair of those, and then next turn you'll go back and strike at Nagaron. I think next turn. Yeah, everything's a single turn recruitment. And Sinina, you can keep going after Hotek's column.
I call thee.
You succeeded. Oops.
Orders.
Guess you kind of gained a skill point that we should put in, and now you can finish off Fiery Convocation. And, if all goes well, we can get you up there to join the fight against Nagaron. Over on the coast, I'm going to keep heading for Val's Anvil.
Princess of the Asur.
And Sunshine, just stay on your boat and keep doing your thing, because you're kind of making up for all my shortcomings in combat.
Prince of Elfwan.
Alright, Phoenix, you are now back in Lothern, but we cannot afford to give you any troops. So hopefully next turn, whatever Sunny gets to is actually worth a little bit of money. And before I forget this turn, Avalorn, please, please, confederate.
What brings you? Unwise.
No, you wouldn't do it. You're essentially the second weakest. We could probably confederate with Nagaroth, but they only have one little army stack and it's not really worth it. Do we have anyone that would be worth it? Illyrian, perhaps?
Behold,
Still on the inside of the island.
Phoenix Court misguided.
Well, not Illyrian. Not Illyrian.
You call.
And Tyrannoc only has the little island over here, and they're about to get attacked, so I don't really want to confederate with them and have those losses.
How can I assist you?
Yvres? Maybe.
Greetings, fellow Asur. What brings you here?
No, we're not going to join the war against the Scalings. We can't really afford that right now. Alright, next turn. We will try and get Avalorn again. And hopefully we'll be able to assault Nagaron. They do have that one lord with a couple of reapers sitting around there. He's been moving city to city coming up towards Nagaron, which is kind of worrying. Kothik. That is a lot of Great Eagles. 6 of them. And it looks like she took over the Trollfjord. Delirian is making itself a little bit stronger. Ooh, that's another rather large Dark Elf stack right there. But they are losing Odd of your rest to destroy it instead of colonizing it, but okay. I'm still not entirely sure what the scalings have left then. Alright, so the Warband of the Crow has been destroyed.
Lady of Oldthorn, make your way.
Sunshine! Come on, big money. Banner of Swiftness doesn't hurt. And we're just going to keep you going on towards the south. And all the way up here. I think I passed it. Did I pass it?
Your orders are reasonable.
So you can go back and try to assault Nagarond for the second time.
Attack! My prowess is needed. To war!
Their Black Dragon is back and doing a lot.
No.
We have a Lord coming in. We'll have to retreat if that comes through.
A strong leader is needed.
Actually, what we might end up doing is going up and taking one of the lesser cities. It'll complete the mission, and what do we get for it again? Alright, 30 wave fragments.
The Asur.
And that would give us time to actually build this army stack up a little bit more.
For order.
So we'll go deal with that. I don't really want to lose Chaplin Grimuldis and his entire army. Even though I'm coming ashore here pretty quick. To try and grab Val's Anvil.
No mercy.
One of 3 such places in the known world. One here. One in Calidor. And then one way off to the east in the Wood Elf realms.
Defender of the Ever Queen, I will do my duty.
Alright, let's give Avalorn one more try.
Lord of the Phoenix Court. Greetings, fellow Asur. Ridiculous.
So they won't, so let's give Illyrian another shot.
Your word shall reach the Phoenix throne. I cannot do this.
Kothik, maybe?
Lady of Oldthorn, I bid you welcome to the court of the Phoenix King. How wise.
That's actually acceptable. They just didn't want to confederate with us, and there's the last of the scalings. But they would join the war against the Dark Elves. Really, confederating with Tyrannok or Nagaroth right now is not a good idea.
Ill-considered.
And since we have a fair bit of influence as is, let's give Avalorn another quick boost. See where that gets us. And failing that, let's give Illyrian another little tap too. See if we can get them up. Let's see what this turn has in store for us. Oh, I forgot to finish Sanina's movement for this turn, so she's going to keep moving up north. Though that will put her in position to join Chaplin when we go to assault Nagarond. Kind of curious how they're supporting this many stacks. Because they've already lost everything east of Grond. We could go after Grond. But do we want to start another war with the Mung? I think they're called the Mung? M-U-N-G? It was perhaps a bit too passive in the earlier turns. Would make sense. That's why we're kind of running up against roadblocks right now. Again, Pirates of Sartosa. They come over to Wolfwan, they go back to Sartosa. They come to Wolfwan, they go back to Sartosa. Hornborg. He is the Borg. Your biological and technological distinctiveness will be added to his own. Resistance is futile. Which one of the 4 Chaos Gods would that be? Nurgle, maybe? Khorne's all about smashing and destroying. Slaanesh, well, I can't really say on the channel what Slaanesh is into, because it's Slaanesh.
Lethal grace given form.
So we're going to send Chaplin over and see Harcal... I can't even say that. Harkaldra. There we go.
A strong leader is needed.
Slightly less suicidal than taking on the Dark Elf capital when you're hurt. And we only have a single turn left on our heavy Ithilmar armor. Doesn't really affect anything that's in Chaplin's army, though, unfortunately.
The Cat-Eye honor me.
Oh. Sunshine got some bonus experience for that. You know what? We're going to toss you on a Great Eagle. These Great Eagles are awesome.
I serve the Phoenix King.
But you're going to keep going around and doing a whole bunch of stuff on the ocean. At least for the nearby future. That was a Skull Reef.
Prince of
Which...
Elfwan.
Agnew, you're going to sail out and grab that Skull Reef for us, which is really, really, really going to help. Board of the Vampire Admiral. Definitely does not hurt. We are getting close to the point where we're going to have to start really, really, really looking at getting more cities and more places that... Come on, brain. Catch up with me. Give us way fragments. That's the phrase I'm looking for. Phoenix, you're going to grab a couple extra dragons.
Tyrion, heir of an
And you should be able to deal with it. But since we're taking Val's Anvil, and then probably Harganeth later on.
servant of the king. I never tire. I will continue soon.
Oh, that was kind of a waste of a stance change. Still only got us on the beach. But by taking Val's Anvil, which is currently giving them 11 Scrolls of Hecate, and then going up and taking Grand, we will be able to get a lot more way fragments. But we're going to do that on the next episode. So despite the fact that it was kind of a rough start for the High Elves this year, if you guys did like the video, please consider hitting that like button. If you'd like to join up with the 232, our little community on YouTube and other places, just hit that subscribe button and make sure you turn your notifications on so you don't miss when a new video goes up. And as I said, sometime on Friday we will be doing our first live stream. I gotta learn how to talk more colloquially. That's not the right word. Talk better when doing it live. That's how I'm thinking about it. Anyway, so that'll be happening Friday sometime. Posts will be going up on Facebook and all other media that we do. So we're going to be trying to do some XCOM, and that'll be fun. But remember guys, life is a game, so play to win. And until next time, take care.